Centerpiece Hill, and I am going to show you a DIY centerpiece. It's kind of a shabby chic centerpiece with a little bit of glitz, but the purpose for it was to kind of show you an arrangement that you can use for a wedding. You could use it on a tablescape for your home, but ideally this would be more for a wedding type. Some of the things you're going to need is a piece of fabric, a piece of scrap fabric for the size of your vase. Now, I've already created this vase. If you didn't take a look at my video on how to create this vase, go back and take a quick look. It's very simple, it's very quick, but I made this out of 2 candlesticks in a bowl that I got from the Dollar Tree, so this vase ended up costing me $3. Yes, I did say $3. And you can't even rent vases like this for $3. Check. If you go to the rental, the event rental company, this is probably an $18 to $20 vase. So think about that when you're doing your wedding. You're going to need some wax paper that's cut to the shape of your bowl. You're going to need some barbecued skewers, and I'll show you what to do with that. And you're going to need some little inexpensive, these sort of rhinestone kind of, I don't even know what you call them. They like the bedazzle things that you used to put on your jacket in the 80s. Those kinds of things. So, super inexpensive. You can get them from like any craft store. Sometimes you can find them at the Dollar Tree, and it's like $1 or $1.50 for a pack, for a big pack. So very inexpensive. Then you're gonna need some. I actually used some spray glitter. You don't have to use spray glitter, but I also wanted to add again a little bit more glitz to the flowers, and I'll tell you what that was used for in a second. I bought some baby's breath as a filler flower. I have some pale blue hydrangeas. I only needed 2 stems, and I have a dozen blush pink roses. So again, the color palette was really to be sort of shabby chic, and if you could see the glass up close, you would see why. The design is very pretty, very delicate and elegant. It really, really does look nice. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fabric and I'm going to line the inside of the bowl. The reason I'm doing this is because I wanted to figure out some way to hide my floral foam without, you know, adding additional leaves. The next thing you're going to use is you're going to take your wax paper and then you're going to put that inside to sort of line the fabric with. Next, I'm going to take my saturated floral foam. This is floral foam for fresh flowers, so basically you can get it wet. And I am going to put it right into my vase, just like that. And then you can sort of make the adjustment to the fabric so that it's hidden as best as possible. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my hydrangeas. By adding my hydrangeas first, it's going to give me a sense of where else everything needs to be filled in. Because they have the biggest blossoms, they're going to take up the most room. Now, hydrangeas are a beautiful flower. They're expensive sometimes. At $3 a stem, it can seem expensive. That's why I like to do arrangements that only use like 1 or 2 in the arrangement. Some people do humongous bouquets of hydrangeas, and good for them, but most of us don't have that budget. So, at any rate, I'm going to basically cut the stem. I'm doing it on an angle. This allows the hydrangea to get more water to its blossom. Now, ideally, in arrangements, you would want to cut hydrangeas as close to the blossom as possible, or the stems close to the blossom as possible, because they take up a lot of water. They drink up a lot of water. They like to be in water, so you can extend the longevity if you soak the entire flower, the blossom and everything, in water, because they do receive water through their petals as well. That's just a side note, but I'm not going to do that because I don't have that kind of time. I'm going to sort of judge it a little bit. I think I need to cut it down just a little bit more. I want to keep the green leaves on my hydrangeas. I think the leaves on hydrangeas are really beautiful, so I want to make sure that those stay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put one in. Again, remember, hydrangeas love water. So I'm just going to add a teeny bit more to the wet floral foam as I put it in. And I'm going to do it with another one. Again, and just kind of gauge where it is in terms of your length. Now, also by cutting it on an angle, you're giving yourself some ability to work it into the arrangement. Okay, so now I have 2 in there. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to fill it in with some color through my roses. You're going to do the same thing and add your roses in. Now the roses, we want to make sure we take off all the leaves. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I put in color at different heights, and I'm just going to go in and fill it all in. Alright, so now I've added my blues and my pinks all the way around. Make adjustments where necessary. What I like to do is I actually like to spray my baby's breath in spray glitter. Baby's breath is super sturdy, and it also dries really well too. Just keep that in mind if you wanted to save your arrangements. But baby's breath put together, it just has this really delicate light look to it. Very wispy, whimsical, so on and so forth. So I'm going to use some baby's breath. I'm going to take it apart. I've already sprayed it with a little bit of glitter. Now you don't have to, that's up to you. I think it's going to be a little high, so let me cut it down a little bit. And I'm just going to start adding it to my arrangement to add a little bit more texture and softness to it. You want to fill in the gaps. Don't get crazy and try and fill in every single gap, because you do want some of those leaves to poke through as well, some of those hydrangea leaves. Adding a little bit of green to the arrangement. Okay, so now we have pretty much our arrangement almost all done. However, I'm going to add a little bit more glitz and glamour because this is a wedding floral. Now, I know some of you probably have seen in the store, since you are a DIY bride, or maybe a DIY bride, you've seen floral pins. Well, those dog-blasted floral pins are expensive, and they will bump your arrangement up in price by so much. For my wedding, I did all red roses as my bouquet, and in the roses I did have rhinestone floral pins. And don't you know, my bouquet was like $300. It was ridiculous. Anyways, my point is that we can make our own for so much less. What you'll need is you'll need those little rhinestones I talked about, your barbecue skewers, and some hot glue. It's really simple to do. All you have to do is take your hot glue, put a dab of it on the flat end, not the pointy end, but the flat end of your barbecue skewer, and then take your rhinestone and then use the back side of the rhinestone and stick your barbecued skewer to it, just like that. Now, if you wanted these to poke out of your arrangement a little bit more, then I would go ahead and use some painter's tape, tape the bottom, and then just spray the tops. You don't want to get paint on the bottom because you don't want to taint the water where your flowers are, but you can spray paint them whatever color, silver, gold, whatever your heart desires. Now, get creative with this. You can use pearls, you can use rhinestones, you can use beads, you can use anything you like. You can use rocks, for heaven's sakes, gems, doesn't matter. So I went ahead and I already made some. I made about 20. Barbecued skewers, you can get them from Walmart for like 97 cents, and the rhinestones, like I said, you can get a bag of them for like $1.50 to $2, somewhere in there. Not expensive at all. And then you're just going to stick them right into your arrangement. These might be a little tall, so you can just break them off or cut them. I think breaking them and cutting them can sometimes be a little tricky. But then just go back in and add your rhinestones. Very pretty, simple floral arrangement. Only probably cost me about $27, $3 for the glassware. It cost me $22 for the flowers, and then you have the little rhinestones and stuff, so the little miscellaneous things. I think it cost me about $27, but that's $27 versus this being close to $65 to $85 from the florist. Now, the florist is going to have more, like I said, more techniques in which you can use, but I think that you can do this on your own. So I really hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure you rate, comment, subscribe. Well, have a good one. Again, I'm Quintice Hill, and thanks for watching. Ciao for now.